Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Carogan. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember the 50 waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Dare to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important things are giving you pieces.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look, these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Caroga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to some old-time fun playing Poly Bridge 2. Yes, it's Thursday, December 1st, 2022, and I completely forgot I had physical therapy today. So if you saw this stream originally scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern, and then you saw it changed later to 5:30, that's why. Because at 4 p.m. Eastern was actually when I had to start a physical therapy. And I was so happy-go-lucky. Actually, I wasn't happy. I was having crippling anxiety this morning. But for the purposes of this story, I was all happy-go-lucky this morning. Like, oh, I got nothing going on. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to stream some Poly Bridge. It's going to be fun. It'll be an early 4 p.m. start, like my usual time. It'll be like everybody will be happy. And then Mamo Prey was like, oh, I thought you were doing all this because you were getting ready for physical therapy. Like, physical therapy? Son of a bitch! And my whole day was ruined. Mama Pray's like, it's okay. Call the physical therapist. Tell him you just don't feel like it. You're not well. Blah, blah, blah. No, Mama Pray, I'm not going to do that. I probably should have, but I feel awful when I cancel physical therapy, and it feels like I don't know, superstitious. Like, I'm so close to not being able to do physical therapy on any given day already that if I start canceling it on days it's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. So anyway, pushed it back to 5:30, a little later than I'd hoped, and we'll see. I don't know how long we'll stream for, but I do appreciate everyone who's hung out and who has come. We'll see what happens. John DeMarco, first in the chat, says, I'm looking forward to some epic bridge rants. Very cool. I hope so. I hope I can help you out, John. Hey, Tim Christ has joined the panel. Welcome, Tim.
Bird, don't you dare cut out on your physical therapy.
No, I'm not. John Araki says Deuce is number 2 in the chat. Hashtag Blackjack. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. John Araki says this is a bridge to nowhere.
I was gonna say, what crazy game is this that you're looking at here?
You've never seen Polybridge 2 or Polybridge?
No. Is this like
It's a bridge builder.
Is it a web game or?
No, it's a real game. You got to download from Steam.
Oh, okay. You would think with all the random games that I was looking at in LDG's backstage, I would have bumped into it, but no, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Polybridge was the original one, came out in 2015, and then the second came out in 2020.
So, just for fun, I was on one of his streams. I was just going through the, that little random listing that they can give you, like, you can have it suggest games to you. So I was just reading through some of them because some of them were just silly. Mm-hmm. And LDG was getting mad at me because he thought I was reading something that was live streaming or something. I'm like, no, I'm going through games. He's like, well, who cares? I'm like, it's just fun. I'm just going through random games that Steve's like throwing my way. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with you, dude?
Welcome, Daniel's Hot Topics. Qapla.
Hi. What's up?
How you doing, Daniel?
I'm good. How you doing, Bird?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
What's this game?
Polybridge 2. I played this game years ago. You build the bridge for things to cross. There's each level. They give you, different things you got to do, like different sizes, different shapes. Some of the bridges can get complicated with hydraulics and stuff. You have to have drawbridges that open and close sometimes. So the best bridges to me are just the static bridges that just have to cross a river or something. Anyway, it's
shaky
fun.
Bridges?
You can build shaky bridges. I mean, if they shake too much, they fall down.
They fall down.
Yeah, you gotta make it so that some are little light cars that go across, some are big heavy trucks. So you gotta make it, to design for, like, there's a heavy construction equipment. So we'll start in just a minute. Mike Richards, welcome. Mike Richards says, no, our great leader is building bridges to his enemies for negotiations. But that's why we're building bridges. Yes, Mike Richards. Pop Culture Curator, hello, Pop Culture Curator. Thank you. And Mike Richards says, crippling anxiety is for our enemies, not our leader. Sure. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Okay.
Great idea for a possible Fallout stream. I don't know if I want to stream though. Maybe I'll just let LVG do the streaming. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, I just got a new mod where almost every creature is a legendary. So I already have the Endless Warfare mod on, so I have more monsters running around at me. So if every one of them was a legendary and popping out legendary, maybe I should put it into the absolute extreme mode. So you basically, if you die, you die. So,
I'm not familiar with that, but
so what the idea is, like, can the legendary items that you get from every creature, can they keep you alive longer? Can they keep you from dying in extreme legendary mode? I don't know. It seems like an interesting challenge.
So for this level, and I did start playing it just because I hadn't played this game in years, so I just wanted to make sure I knew what the buttons did. You can see we have a budget too with each bridge, and I've already went over the budget, so this bridge wouldn't really pass.
That's a typical Carogan strategy. You go over the budget, that way you get a bigger one later.
But also, it doesn't work. This is a school bus, so yeah, it's not good. I mean, we can watch again. You can see where it gets yellow, red, and that's just not gonna do it. So It also, the new version, it didn't used to do this. It actually highlights the first block that breaks. So if you wanted to go back, I could go and replace this wood with steel, but okay, then it wouldn't break, but
Put
it
the
would break
supports
somewhere
underneath.
else. In all likelihood, it's
Shouldn't
not
the supports go underneath, or?
Oh, it's actually. Oh, wow.
There
Okay, so
There
I'll be honest. That actually, I didn't think it would go nearly that far. I was gonna say. So now there's this. Like, I mean, obviously, it can't be that easy to just replace the occasional piece that breaks with steel. I mean, we're still over budget, but I'm basically going to have to erase this bridge. And yeah, okay. So,
jeez.
well, actually, now it's just that piece. I don't know. Maybe we can salvage this. Maybe we can salvage this. We're only minorly over budget, you know. But the thing is, okay, so that technically that worked. But I mean, for me personally, not only do I need to be under budget, I'd like to ideally be under budget and in the top 30, the top third of all people who pass the level. Now, not million, thousands of people have played this game at this point. So when you get to the level done, you've got a ton of other people who've played before you. So let's just start. We'll refresh this. Yes, this was the Turtescani school bus, Mike Richards. And Thomas Bud says, North Korea builds better than Bert. No, Thomas. That is fake news. That is fake news. Okay, so let's get rid of this bridge.
Only Bird could build a bridge to China.
Absolutely. Okay, so first things first, we have some tools here that makes doing angled bridges or ramps a bit easier. So let's make this. We'll make this a nope, wrong. God damn it. I need to press that. You know what? Let's there. Okay. So we're going to do it arched. We'll do an arch bridge that should be
the super arch.
Yeah, we don't want to arch it too much.
Make it the gateway arch.
We don't want to arch it too much. Now we're going to fill it in now with road. Okay. There we go. That actually makes life much easier for those. Also, we can build half and then mirror it. So let's see.
So I see you got steel girders, and what's the thing you got highlighted there?
I'm using wood. Wood is the cheapest. Wood is the cheapest option.
I don't know. I think I'd do some steel.
Yeah, but we don't have. I don't think we have money to do the complete thing. I guess we
budget's of 47,000. If I'm reading that right?
I guess we could try. What if?
I'd do your like base framework steel, yeah.
copy, flip. Yeah.
I'd take out those two that are Xing right there.
Yeah. It seems to be a little bit of a design flaw.
Just take them out. I bet you don't need them. Use wood in the center, maybe. No, watch it'll collapse in the middle. I'm completely wrong. You're the engineer. You know better.
Yeah. I think we got to keep it. Well, I don't know. Maybe we could get away with wood in the center. Let's see. Okay. We do wood in the middle here. And it looks like the Earth chevron in the center of the bridge. Well, obviously, we also need to.
What's the red square down lower?
These are all anchor points.
Okay.
These are other anchor points we could use. I don't think we need to. Ah, shit. This is a little too far. Okay. I don't know. There's a possibility that just might be strong enough as it is. Anybody want to take some bets?
Well, I don't bet, but it'll definitely be entertaining to watch.
Mr. Londell says, how many rules did you break building that travesty? This isn't a travesty. This is a
He's
work of art.
Budget.
This is
He's
a
got
work of art.
17,000 left to play with.
Yeah.
That's pocket money. That's bar money.
Thank you, Daniel.
That's bar
Captain Fandom Nerd says hello. Hello, Captain. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Bird O'Prey 5, Mom O'Prey, Sis O'Prey, the Ball Buster, Nephew O'Prey, and fellow nerds, hail Caroga, and the Uranium Orphans on their biannual 5-minute coffee break. And greetings to Sassy, Chaser of Cats, Eater of Cookies, Stalker of Cardinals, the Filer of Cushions, and Scourge of the Squirrels. Aroo! It's been a long time, Mountains. Thank you. You need a keystone in the center. We're all keystoned up. We're all keystoned up here. Okay. Rock Solid says, does Bird of Prey have trucks of salt crossing that bridge to Turdistan? Why? We're not sending salt to Turdistan. Salt is useful. Not strong enough, says Mountains. Says Mr. Londell. I hope those bus passengers have their affairs in order, says John DeMarco. I am shocked that you guys are giving me such little credit. Robert Rose Jr. says, hello tonight, Bird O'Prey, Mom O'Prey, and the Sassy. Hey, there's LDG.
Bird is using only the best uranium lace steel that Caroga could supply.
I think there's a 50-50 shot here. Okay, I honestly think there's a 50-50
There's always a 50-50 shot.
Let's see.
The question is,
okay, first off, the bridge actually stands. So there's the first. There's the first 50%. Now the next 50% is, does the weight of the bus cause a problem? I don't know.
The bus can't make it on the hump.
It'll make it. It'll go. It'll take a little time.
This is the bus's fault, not the bridge. Are you kidding me?
What the fuck? Step on the gas. There he goes. Oh, son of a bitch.
Is that the wood section?
I don't know. Well,
it might have been the wood section.
Let's see which.
You might need to replace that wood with steel. You might want to replace all that wood with steel.
Oh, it was all the way on the other side. It was all the way on the other side where our failure was. I never would have suspected. Okay, so let's see. We build something here. Take some weight off that edge, and I guess we should probably mirror it here. Okay.
Push. Push.
We can speed up. We can speed up. It goes.
Push, you orphans. Push.
Oh, come on.
It's breaking in the middle there.
That one definitely broke in the middle. Let's see where that one failed. No, it's still saying that this is the first failure. That is incredible. Okay, we can replace it with reinforced road. We can put reinforced road.
And the budget's going up.
It is going up in the budget, but let's see what happens. Now,
this bus is.
Mr. Lundell says, "Told you so." Okay.
Here you go. Here you go.
Okay. Now it was the second. Now it was the second. Okay. So
the reinforced road all the way across, I guess.
We're going to do reinforced road over there. And maybe we don't need the pieces underneath. Okay. Well, listen, we're getting
warmer.
We're getting warmer. We are getting warmer. Okay, let's see what happens.
Broke but didn't fall. That's
let's
impressive.
See what happens if we take that out. What happens?
Oh, this bus, I swear. This is like the Muppet bus. Oh, there it goes again. Many orphans sacrifice themselves to make a good bridge.
Technically, okay. You know, let's just reinforce all the road. There we go. Okay. And speed this up.
Move, bus. Push. Push. See, it's all about.
There it is.
It's all about just using better material. That's all.
Yeah, we just.
You just can't skimp on the material. You got to use the reinforced road and the steel.
Oh, and look at this. We're in the top 36%. Now, I said the top third, which would technically mean we need to be in the top 33.3%. So we are so close. We are so close. And the max stress was 92.5, which means we certainly have room to save some money. We certainly have room to save some money. Let's see. Okay, we've got this. So let's
Take the wood out.
Save money?
Take the wood out.
I don't think we can take the wood out. They need to be triangles. If we get rid of pieces, then it's definitely going to collapse. Right? I mean,
possibly.
No, I don't see any piece we could get rid of. Now we might be able to, let's see. Is it cheaper to replace one piece of steel with wood? Let's see. So if that's our total budget's $35,585. And we put it down. I see here somebody's in. I'll be right there.
You know, in all honesty, I'm curious to see what just the reinforced road will do without all the supports.
35. I don't know if that's cheaper than we were or not. 35.
Have you tried that? Just the road without the supports?
Welcome, LDG.
Okay, is there a reason why you're doing this the super hard way? Or is this for shits and giggles?
What do you mean the super hard way?
Like, I know you're an engineer, so you know damn well what I mean.
Are you saying that there's better designs?
There's obviously better designs. Wow, that worked.
Okay, but did that bring us?
No. That just got everybody
35%. Nice. So okay, so we were at 36, now we're at 35. So it did save us some money. So we can replace.
Well, it saved you money, but everybody that's going on that bridge is going to need a new bumper.
I don't give a shit about their bumpers.
It's like driving into my parking lot at work. You definitely take a digger if you've got a small enough car.
I mean, I feel bad for any lowrider. Can you switch the bus to a lowrider?
You can't swap out the bus. It is what it is.
Cassie State, you're in love with me. Thank you.
Bird.
If you really wanted to save money, you just have like a launch point where it just flies over the bridge.
What I really want to see is how this would work without any of the supports.
We can try that after we make sure I get to my top 30.
Once you get to your goal. What if a no support bridge actually makes your goal?
A no support bridge is not going to work. I can guarantee you that a no support bridge,
even with the reinforced road,
even with the reinforced, it needs to have some support. Okay, top 33. There we did it. Top 33. So we're in the top third of people to ever complete this level. 89,000 people have better bridges. But if we do unbreaking only, top 34? How did I fall to 34? What about friends only? The only one on the friends list.
Oh, Bird.
Okay, we got to do it a little bit better.
Bird's got no friends.
We got to do it a little bit better. Because I have no friends. I have no friends that completed this level.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. We could probably get rid of even more of the of the whatever it's called steel, but as long as it's enough to get us the top 33%, I'll be happy. Oh no! Son of a bitch. I was afraid of that.
Rex, over here.
Okay. Now I don't need to know if it will go, if you'll go across without support. I'm good.
I think that
I'm
might.
convinced.
Ooh.
That was fast.
I forgot to turn it back down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see what is it.
Is anyone worried about Carogan orphans? Don't worry, we've got recovery teams down there. They're called Sharks.
Nice. Okay. That should be enough. There we go. Yes. Top 33. Okay. So we're in our top third. Awesome. All's happy. What do we got? Rock Solid says, wasn't there a joke somewhere in the busload of nuns dying on a bridge? Not that I'm aware of. Miss Lindell says, told you so. Mike Richards says, if Salty is driving the bus, you need to double the weight load. Rock Solid says, this is lame.
Bus, you're gonna have a pit trap in there.
Play Kerbal. To the moon, Alice, says Mike Richards. Miss Lindell says, try to find a horizontal road bed suspended below the superstructure. I tried with the suspending. That costs a lot of money. Ropes are not cheap. LDG says, I'm fired. The sharks are well fed in Caroga. It worked. It worked. Probably the crocodiles too. Look at the other solutions. Yeah, okay. So let's look at the other solutions. We can view in the gallery what
I want to see Freddie Fazballs. He said it looks like he only spent $4,800 on his.
Yeah, there's quite a few that are cheaper. Sort by budget. The cheapest one, oh my God. The cheapest one is $1,299. $1,299.
Looks like it launches it over.
It just fucking explodes. What? I don't even understand.
It just
what's going on.
Pushing the bus over.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, orphans. This won't hurt a bit. At least that one landed on its wheels.
The same. Well, basically the same. Okay. Here's an actual bridge.
Now, how come he doesn't have supports?
I don't know. I think he's got rope between the bridges, or maybe those are reinforced. I don't know. 11,139. I know. Those are fake. Those aren't real bridges. Like, what's a good real bridge? Okay, real bridges can't shake that much. These are shitty. That's fake. That's fake. Okay, let's go. Okay, here's the first real looking bridge. Yes, Mom. Right. Okay, sorry about that.
A lot of people put the supports underneath. I was wondering about that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. And what are the most expensive ones? Yes. Yeah, okay. Well, wow.
What the heck was that?
It was steel with more steel falling through. Also, just a heads up, apparently in this game, a lot of people build penises as their bridges.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
And yeah, it's they like to show off their penis bridges. Not us, of course. We're a serious engineer, but okay. So we got our so let's go on to the next level. Unity. This is one of the more complicated ones. We've got this truck has to get to the green flag, and then this car has to get to the second flag. So let's start with this.
Remember, reinforce the road.
Yeah, well, let's see. We need the second half of the bridge isn't going to change. So let's kind of, what's our budget?
I got my 5mm extension cables in for my my new shelf that I set up in my hallway last week. So now the whole thing lights up. Looks nice.
Very cool. Okay. Let's see. Of course. Of course. Hello, Jedi Bill. Okay. Well, I knew that was going to happen.
That's funny.
Okay. It was just to test that the main bridge was working.
That's great.
Hashtag we want Kerbal, says Rock Solid. Well, Rock Solid, it's not Kerbal today.
I gotta get that game again. It's been forever since I played that. I had like a cheat, like I had like a free, like not quite a demo version, but I think one of my buddies gave me a copy of it, and it was entertaining, but it had a few flaws in my version. It's probably like a not quite refined version.
Yeah.
Holy
Okay.
crap, dude.
What? There we go. That was easy enough.
Hey.
Now, how did we do?
Yeah.
Nice, top 12%. And that was super easy. I thought barely an inconvenience. I thought it was going to be a hard one. No, there's no vagina bridges, John Araki. Qapla Kronos. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again. I'm so impressed. So I guess we could. I mean, we could save a little bit of money, but why? No. Now, let's leave good enough alone.
OLD. LD. LDG.
What?
I watched the entire 20 episodes of that Dragon Ball Heroes thing.
Oh yeah.
That is all over the place, man. That was pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. I was telling you, right?
Yeah. It was interesting. It was definitely all over the place.
What the hell was that? Watch that again. I wish there was a way to watch it in full screen. I feel like I'm missing something major for these things to be working. And how the hell is it moving backwards? Okay. We're getting. Sorry. Good. Top 12. We're good. Next level. Long drawbridge. Okay. The fire truck has to cross to the A, and the van has to cross to E, but this pirate ship has to cross the bridge. In the middle, we have 8 steel girders to work with, 4 hydraulic lifts, and rope and wood. So, I mean, more often than not, we can just cross these things without hydraulics. It's not cheating. Okay.
What if you're standing at the top of that? You got to get no headroom. And there's supposed to be a person in there.
No. Oh, yeah, I guess there would be, but they can duck.
They can duck.
They can duck.
You know, that's funny how they have a tool to create that. They don't have a tool to zigzag across it.
Zigzag across it?
What you're doing right now.
I guess they figure you gotta leave something for you to build. That's the halfway point. That's the halfway point. Okay. It's pretty. It's not. Let's see. I know there's people typing. I can't build a bridge and read the chat at the same time. Please be patient. As always, if you have anything you want me to say, use @BirdoPray5, and I'll do my best to say it. Okay. We'll copy this. We'll flip it. Sassy's going after Mama Praise dinner. Why is this not connecting? God damn it. Okay. Well, this is certainly going to be a problem. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Well, Well, where did the first block? Okay. Now let's see if we delete these. Does that change anything? Wow. How the hell does that even make it further? How does it make it further with that? Okay. Where did that one go? That one broke here. Huh. I almost think like if we played with this here, that might solve the issue. Okay.
Hey, can't you just build just one little triangle down there towards the whatchamacallit?
Yes, yes, I can, and that's obviously what I'm going to do.
Well, I don't know if it was obvious that you were going to do it, but obvious, yes. This weird way of building.
Okay, let's see. Now, it's quite high on the budget, but it worked. The pirate ship goes. I like how that lights turn on. Okay, you can make it. You can make it. Okay. Top 58. That's a problem. That means I'm in the bottom. I'm in the worst. Okay. Let's see. If we, let's see. Maybe we don't need those two. And that side of the bridge seemed to be pretty secure. Okay.
Bird, did you see the new Indiana Jones trailer?
I did. Hey, Mr. Londell, Qapla. Welcome to the chat.
Hola.
Is there time travel in there?
I don't know if there's time travel. I didn't watch all that closely, but there was one scene that looked exactly like the Millennium Falcon.
What?
Yeah. There's a scene where it looks like he's on the Millennium Falcon, to me. To me, and someone else in the comments caught it too. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't just me.
Yeah. Hey, Bird.
Yes.
Are you looking at the solutions, the other solutions here to the left?
I mean, I will now.
God, man, are you sure you went to engineering school?
Yes, I went to engineering school.
I mean, I studied architecture for a little while. There's no way in hell I would make the mistakes you're making. That's just me. Let me shut
architecture
up. Is, I know it's totally different, but the same. And but we both have to take calculus and physics. So
Thomas, you're not being ignored. I can only do so much. at once. If you want to come up and read the chat, you're more than welcome, Thomas. All right, if anybody'd like to come up and read the chat, they're more than welcome. And welcome. Well, we know that's Darren from his avatar. Welcome, Darren, to the panel.
How are you? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Great. I can hear you just fine, yes. So what we need to do now is make sure that Salty Trekker sees the trailer for Cocaine Bear. Because he refused to watch it on his stream, so now it's a moral imperative.
He refused to watch it?
Yeah. Yeah. Instead, he wanted to watch 3 shitty trailers from franchises that have been done to death. Indiana Jones, Transformers, and Guardians.
I've not heard of. I heard of it this morning, Cocaine Bear, but I haven't seen it.
It looks pretty funny. It was also Ray Liotta's last film before he died, and it's got Aaron Ehrenreich in it, or Ehrenreich.
Aaron Rittenbacher?
No, not even close.
Doomcock calls him. Sorry.
Well, see, Doomcock only makes fun of him because he made an honest mistake. He was offered the part of Solo and he took it. What young actor wouldn't take it? But prior to Solo, I think he had a very bright future. He was if you ever saw the movie Hail Caesar, he was like stole the show from Clooney and a bunch of other people. So I mean, he's actually, I think he's quite good. I think I forgive him for the whole Solo thing. I didn't see Solo, but
I haven't, and honestly, I despite the fact that it's not a great movie, it is definitely not the worst out of the Disney Star Wars franchise. So
yeah,
I watched Solo and I left feeling numb.
Oh, like I said, it's not good. I'm not giving it good at all, but it was better than Rise of Skywalker.
Believe it or not, but I went to see. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
Anyways, okay, believe it or not, but I went to see Solo: A Star Wars Story. I was the only one in the entire theater. The theater was completely empty.
I believe it. I didn't go to the theater, so I waited for it to come out on DVD. I got my $8.99 DVD of it. I'm cool.
I saw it on Netflix. So
really, they didn't have it on Disney Plus?
This was just
I don't think
before
Disney
there
Plus
was
out
Disney
yet.
Plus.
Was it?
No, it was just before Disney Plus.
Gotcha.
In fact, I saw Black Panther on Netflix as well.
Business.
Hello.
So we made it to the top 23%, and that's good with me. So we're going on to another level. And all the people who are blasting me in the chat for not knowing engineering, stick it to themselves.
Aren't you an engineer, though?
I am an engineer.
Okay. All right.
Kronos is for someone that has 4,069 tabs open at once, can't multitask 2 things like play a game and check the chat. They're on different screens. Thomas says, I have a question. It's been a while since I watched old Quantum Leap, but wasn't the person Sam leaped into brought to the future? I believe their body was, yes. I don't know what goes on with the bodies in New Quantum Leap. It's a good question.
I thought it was just
they're in the waiting room.
Swapping. I didn't think it was full.
They're in the waiting room because Al could talk to him.
Kronos says, I have a bridge I could sell you. Well, maybe I could buy it, Kronos. And Kronos says, always burn your bridges behind you. Absolutely.
Who the hell
Arabic
is on a
Sander.
bridge?
Arabic Sander says, Qapla, Arabic Sander. I did not see the trailer for Cocaine Bear. I did see the trailer for Violent Night, which I'll have to agree with MB. It does look pretty decent. And Today I saw the trailer for Indiana Jones and the fucking dial-up modem or whatever it's called.
I'm afraid.
Fleabag Jones.
I'm afraid to watch that Indiana.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest. I do not get good vibes from the Indiana Jones.
Well, the last
there
one
were
was
a couple
so
of
great.
funny parts. There were a couple of funny
5600
parts.
baud modem.
Yeah.
Well, according to Doomcock's sources, which are far from correct 100% of the time, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is supposed to replace Indy retroactively through time travel.
Oh, come on. Doomcock's always accurate.
I didn't like seeing her.
Well, see, that rumor's been floating out there since before he got hurt.
Martin Devon says Carogan is years behind in engineering. Welcome, Martin.
See, if you time travel, you may not even be on Earth because it's constantly moving.
Depending on your theory of Earth, but yeah.
Thanks for your contribution there, Bee's Nest.
That's this. For those of us who do believe the Earth is moving through the universe, it's something I've considered. Like, if you really did travel absolutely through time, why does this say that I would appear in the same room I was in? What if I, even yesterday?
What if you go back? What if you go into the past, like in the 90s, and then you end up in deep space?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you got to admit,
you're fucked.
Time travel works way better on a flat Earth. It doesn't move.
It is true.
Yeah,
you're a flat
Earth ain't flat.
Where have you been, Bees? Yes, is.
I have to assume that, well, maybe it's tied to the closest gravity reference point, source of gravity. I mean, it's dirty. There's no good way to say, oh, well, if I could time travel back, I'd appear in the same geographic location I took off from. It doesn't make any logical sense. But being time travel, and it's not going to happen anyway, it's just,
what if Copernicus and all those people who created the globe model did it expressly for the purpose of convincing people, discouraging them from going through, making a time machine?
No, but that globe model is at least 1,000 years older than Copernicus.
Well, Copernicus was the one that established the heliocentric model, in which the world moves instead of.
He established that the Earth revolved around the sun.
That's the heliocentric model. That's what I just got done saying.
Damn it, Darren! Not all of us understand your fancy fucking words.
Darren, not even other flat earthers. Not other flat earthers can come together on one map.
Well, that's true. That's true. The only thing they agree on is that it's not a sphere.
Some say it's concave.
I mean, technically, you can't say that all the globers agree on the same model either. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson calls it an oblate spheroid.
No, that he's mostly correct because of the Earth's rotation. It kind of squashes and spreads out a little bit. So,
answer me this, Dan. I'm not going to get into a debate, but answer me this one. Like when they went to the moon and they show that picture of Earth from the distance and they say it's CGI, they actually had to film negatives of that.
Did they? Because I don't know. I mean, I've seen. I don't know of anybody that's saying it's CGI. I mean, after all, they didn't have CGI back in 1969.
Well, they're saying it's fake, whatever, but there's actually it was taken with a real camera, and there's negatives of it.
The actual first picture was taken.
I don't believe that.
1960.
You can go see it. It's in a museum.
Well, so what? You can go see it in a museum. It doesn't mean it's real. I mean, they might just have some negatives there, and say that was the original negatives.
No, I'm saying you don't believe the negative. I mean, you can go see yourself.
Well, I don't challenge the idea that there might be a negative in a museum somewhere that they're reporting, or the original negatives. I just doubt that. I don't believe anything NASA says anymore. Really,
what would it take for you, Darren, to believe?
A more important question, a better question, would be what would it take the rest of you to believe? Because you're the guys who've been living with this model since the time you were in kindergarten.
But
that's the real question.
Well,
the question they never. The question they
tell
never
you what
answered
it would take for me to believe.
Is
it would
why?
Take somebody
Why would they do this?
To get on a ship and sail around.
I mean, the world is still going to go about its business. Why hide it up? Hide it.
And show me that it's 3 times as big as it seems like it should be. Or a plane and just fly over and see there's a fucking wall here.
There is somebody who did that. His name was.
There's a commercial pilot willing, if you can come up with the money. They say you can't fly over Antarctica. He's willing, if you can come up with the money, to fly people over Antarctica.
Okay, well, there you go.
I don't care either way. The world is still going to go about its business.
Yeah, that's because it's round.
I'm still going to wake up. I'm still going to do what I can do. I don't care if it's fucking triangle. I mean, everything is still going to go about its business.
The only triangles we're seeing today are bridges, and limos going into the drink.
And they fail big time.
But I don't understand why they would want to cover up that the Earth is flat.
Who benefits?
Nobody.
Yeah.
No. Well, somebody definitely does benefit.
Who?
Honestly, I would honestly believe that they'd be willing.
And don't
to
say
just
NASA
keep
because there's other space agencies in other countries.
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
So I think they want to keep secrets because they want to keep secrets. They want to keep us asking questions. They want to keep us off balance. They don't want us to be united on a singular.
I believe in that. Yes, they want.
There is no secret when it comes to this. Okay, there is with the topic that we're discussing. There is no secret to this.
Well, I think the whole, like for example, the fact that there's 2 different beliefs in whether the Earth is flat or round. I think that in itself is a design to keep us off balance. I'm all about this.
Now, look, this flat Earth theory are the ramblings of a madman from the 19th century. I forget his name.
No, it goes back a lot farther than that. All of the 5 major religions in the world have cosmology that supports the flat Earth. It was around long before anybody thought of the idea of convincing us that we live on a spinning globe.
But I don't understand who benefits from it.
Nobody does.
No, definitely somebody does benefit from it.
Tell us.
Here, I'm going to give you a link.
I can't.
No, who is it? Illuminati? Trilateral Commission? Who?
I'm on a mobile. I can't see a link.
Oh, that's okay. I'll put it.
Hershey Chocolate Factory benefits. Probably right on that.
Link's in the private chat. Let me see if I can put it in Bird's chat.
Oh, I mean, I'd rather you just tell me.
I'd rather you begin the journey.
Oh, I've watched a lot of them.
Right.
Start the journey.
There is no journey.
Oh wow!
I seen that video where the guy bought the $20,000.
Welcome, Salty.
Hey.
Oh.
Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa!
Oh, it's the cocaine trekker.
Whoa!
Welcome, unexpected guest.
He bought a $20,000 ring gyroscope, and it picked up a drift, meaning it's spinning.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the full call pendulum?
No, it's a ring gyroscope, like the most precise thing there is.
Yeah, no, those don't mean a thing. The full call pendulum has a motor in the ceiling, and Trepang had a gyro too, and it was often wrong. It was just there for looks.
You talking about a motor spins makes the pendulum move?
Yeah, it does.
Aldi,
Yes.
what's up?
Oh well, when I hear Darren say something like all the major religions have cosmology that suggests a flat Earth, I just gotta say that I think you're full of crap. At least I can't speak for all major religions, but at least as far as the Judeo-Christian beliefs, that is not supported in the Bible.
It's absolutely supported.
It takes a gross misinterpretation of Scripture in order to do it.
No, it takes accurate research into what is actually.
Okay, so give me an example, please.
Okay, one moment. I wasn't prepared for this, but we'll go ahead and.
Well, you should always be prepared to defend your position.
There's a lot of Christians that believe it's wrong.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I just know better. Okay. I'm Christian. I just know better,
So
but if it's so obvious, you should just be able to rattle it off.
Debate starts going on here.
Mr. Lindell has been to space.
Yeah.
I wish I had. Okay.
Now you see that is a great parking job by Bird of Prey 5. That's
Okay,
exactly.
that was just a test. Okay,
right. You're making an underwater parking lot, right, for all your victims.
Only 2 orphans died at that test. They were both volunteers. Said we will drive the bus.
Oh, they were volunteers, huh?
Yeah. The next car that wrecks will be named after them. So.
The bad news is we're going to kill you. The good news is we'll name the next car after you. So does that mean that the car after that is named after the orphans from the second car and the first orphans are just forgotten?
Listen, don't worry about how the orphans get remembered. Okay, there's a wall of orphans.
Circling the South Pole.
Wait, is the wall made of orphans or is it just a wall of orphans' names?
Yes.
Well, it's funny you should put it that way. Because the answer to both questions
I'm not the one who put it that way. I'm just
same.
asking.
Okay,
Bring up the
you see
Antarctic
the
Treaty.
mistake you were making already.
They bring up the Antarctic Treaty, and what's funny, it has nothing to do with like staying away from Antarctica. It has to do with no country can put a military base. Nobody can claim Antarctica.
And it's the only treaty that has gone unbroken since it was established.
Good for
There's
them.
nothing really there.
Because you can't live there.
Freaking
Nobody
ice.
can live there.
So do you have your example yet, Darren?
Well, again, just give me a few moments. It's not like I have a timetable.
Well,
Salty does,
I'm just curious because if it's so obvious,
afternoon run-in.
then you should be able to just spout it out.
Well, one moment, please.
Okay, Bird.
You want to talk about the footstool or the ends of the earth, or where are you going with this?
The bowl that's on the back of the elephant, no, it's on the back of the turtle.
Turtle.
That's not Christianity.
I know it, but that was one of the theories from a long time ago.
They also say there's a dome made of ice.
Right.
It's a new thing.
Well, there's Isaiah 40:22, where it says, "It is he who sits above the circle of the earth."
Okay.
Okay. If you look at Strong's Concordance, the word that's used there is describing a flat surface in a circle.
And what would the word be for a sphere?
It'd be the same. It would be the one that he used in Isaiah 22:18 when he mentions the ball here. He will surely turn violently and toss you like a ball into a large country.
Okay, so since he says he's looking at the circle of the earth, or that he's above the circle of the earth, then that means a flat earth. Despite the fact that, by the way, the only object that looks like a circle from any direction is a sphere.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between a circle and a ball is rather obvious. One is a sphere, and the other one is not.
Right, but the Earth is not a ball. The Earth is a unique object as far as the cosmology in the Bible.
Well, there's lots of people that call it a ball, and then there's people like Neil deGrasse Tyson who call it an oblate spheroid. I mean, that's it. But
well,
the thing is,
first of all, nobody calls it a ball. People will call it a sphere. Sometimes people will say it's shaped like a ball, but
okay.
But you're confusing. Like, a ball is a child's plaything. The Earth is not a child's plaything.
Well, no, of course not. But that's not what we're discussing.
However,
are
you sure about that, Salty? Are you sure it's not
the difference? We're discussing the difference between a ball and a circle, and the original Hebrew that went into the Septuagint before it was converted to Greek has two different words for the same, for what you would call the same thing. I mean, I used to use Isaiah 40:22 myself to try to prove that it wasn't a flat Earth book until I actually looked at the root Hebrew. These were Hebrews who understood their own language, you see, and so there's a reason why they used circle, and there's a reason why they used circle in Isaiah 40:22 and the word for ball in 22:18.
Because if you were to be any distance away from the Earth would appear as a circle. That's why.
Yes, but the Lord is speaking in that moment, and He's not going to call it something that it's not. He's not going to say that it's a circle when it's a ball or not.
Okay, so you have this one verse here. So what's your next one? So
are we done with this one?
Well,
are we done with this one?
You say I just want to make sure. I want you to build your case here. So you have that the Earth is referred to as a circle.
You asked
right.
For one
so now
okay.
Which I think is the problem.
And you said I was full of bunk, which I didn't think.
I do think you're full of bunk.
Excuse me. The Illuminati donated $1.49.
Oh, nice.
They said, "What are you talking about, Mr. Lundell? We don't exist."
So there you go. Proof it doesn't exist because they said
Darren,
so.
I want to ask just one question, Darren. How come on the northern hemisphere the water goes down the drain in one direction, and when you go below the equator, it goes down the other direction?
That's not true. The Coriolis effect.
That is actually
a long time ago.
Yeah, there's video of that.
Well, yes, anybody can produce video that seems to show that, but the Coriolis effect.
And they do it at the same time with the same conditions with the same.
It can all be done on camera any way they want. It was debunked a long time ago.
The Coriolis effect is a real thing, but it doesn't affect small objects like a toilet.
Yeah,
that is actually a myth. Where you can see an example of the Coriolis effect is if you look at large storms.
No, actually, the Coriolis effect. Well,
actually, a better question would be, why can't I see?
Did I just hear Salty and Darren agree on something?
It will affect a bullet.
I think I did.
There's a video where there's the equator, and on one side, like maybe 10 feet away, there's a bowl, and on the other side of the equator, like 10 feet away, there's another bowl. And you pull the plug, and one goes one way, and one goes the other way.
It has nothing to do with whether on what side of the equator you're on.
Yeah, like I said, as far as things like toilet bowls, that's a load of bunk. But the interesting thing is that if you look at a hurricane in the northern hemisphere, it spins counterclockwise, and in the southern hemisphere, it spins clockwise. So that's the Coriolis effect, not toilet bowls.
I'm not drunk enough.
Coriolis effect will affect a bullet.
What do you mean affect? If you're talking about like the fact that snipers at long range have to account for the curvature of the Earth, that's
no, they have to account for the Coriolis effect.
Right, but they're accounting for the distance traveled, the curvature of the Earth, and all that. But as far as a actual viewable example of the Coriolis effect, hurricanes are a much better example than just about anything else you can look at.
Look up the channel Smarter every day. They do experiment where they test it out, like with they got two cameras live at the same time, and One
Well, you have
is
to trust them. Go ahead.
Right. But keep in mind, anything that you say, he's going to say you can't trust it unless, of course, it's coming from a flat Earth source. In which case, a video of the sun disappearing at 90 miles an hour is absolutely trustable. However, if you show anything that contradicts that, it's not. Sorry, trustworthy. Sorry, not everybody is as verbose as you.
What gets me is there's a flat Earth video
Nobody
with
is as verbose as Darren.
These guys are flat earthers, and they put up these wooden boards with holes in it, like over a long distance at nighttime.
Yeah,
And
I'll
they
tell you what the go ahead. I'm sorry, Bees. Go ahead.
And they said, okay, so if it's flat, it should be at 17 feet the flashlight, and if it's not flat, it should, he had to hold it above his head, and they couldn't see the light at 17 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you what the weakest argument is on the geocentric azimuthal equidistant projection, which is the scientific name for the flat Earth model.
What?
I still want to know who benefits.
Which is, by the way, the same flag. It's the UN flag, but that's beside the point. Now, the weakest part of the argument is the Antarctic sun.
Well, that's an obvious one,
Mm-hmm.
which nobody will address.
Just not there half the year.
Right. You can't have it be the Arctic circle makes perfect sense, because if the sun is towards the center of the circle during the summer months, then you have 24 hours of sunlight, and that makes perfect sense. But the Antarctic, that's impossible based on the flat Earth.
Yeah, so they show us footage. They tell us it's the Antarctic, but with the sun there, and we have most people don't have any way of verifying it themselves.
Sure they do, because you can also experience that in Australia and deep and far South America, just like you can experience it in Alaska. You don't have to be at the pole.
The only way to convince Darren.
Well, nobody said that we was the pole. Just said Antarctica.
Right. Yeah. Next time your Amazon boy sends,
and then Darren would still be like, "Yo, give me some LSD."
A flight.
All right, let me ask you this, Darren: is the tip of South America close to or closer to Antarctica than any other part in the Western Hemisphere?
Well, let's take a look at the map here.
Even if you shoot Darren into space and he sees a curve, he'd be like, "Yo, somebody slip me some LSD. I was hallucinating."
I've already established that you cannot send flat earthers to space. They will never believe. No flat earther will ever believe that, even if they're sent to space, that the Earth is round, because they'll all try to leave the spacecraft without.
All they have to do is shoot them up there, get them in orbit, tell them to open the damn door.
Yeah, well, they'll do it without suits, so they'll die, and all the flat earthers that are left on the Earth are going to say it was fake. The flat earthers in the craft are going to be, well, they can't say anything, so then everybody will think it was a big government conspiracy and a cover up. So yeah, it just won't go anywhere.
What I still want to know is
we're still back in square one.
Exactly.
The South American continent, just by eyeballing the projection, would appear to be a tad closer to the rim than Australia is. Okay. But again, we don't claim to have a perfect model.
Well, I know you don't, but the problem is there is no consistent model. There's no such thing.
Right.
And so, but the spherical model is consistent.
No, it's not. You've got several people that'll claim it's an oblate spheroid. When NASA shows us images, they show us a perfect.
You're talking about whether or not a scientist who understands it is describing it versus a layperson. A layperson's going to say it's a sphere. A scientist is going to say it's a spheroid because they know it's not a perfect sphere.
And when we look at pictures of the Earth provided to us by NASA, we're looking at a sphere. It's quite obvious. It's not an oblate spheroid.
Now, how do you explain the fact that I've seen this on Mac flights going from the U.S. to Germany? You look out the damn window when you're over the Atlantic Ocean, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
That's your
window. Okay, let me answer that. Neil deGrasse Tyson says you
don't count.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson said that you can't see it from an airplane because you can't get high enough.
That's what I was about to say.
Now who's right? Who's right? Right? Who's
true,
right?
Mr.
The man of
Londell.
science, the learned man of science, or somebody who says that they think they've seen it.
That's not true, Mr. Londell. I'll back up Darren on that one because I took a flight and I did ask a pilot when we were like off boarding. I said, "Can you see the curve from where you're flying?" He goes, "No, we're not up too high."
No.
Well, but the problem still remains. You see, Darren says that the idea that some people say it's a sphere and other people say it's a spheroid makes it inconsistent. But there's, you know what? You could take either a sphere or a spheroid and all the physics still work. The sunrise and the sunset and the position of the stars and the planets and all that still work with either one. The only thing you could possibly argue is whether or not you happen to think that the pictures from NASA are doctored or maybe a weird lens thing or whatever. But the consistency of the model is an indisputable fact. But in the flat Earth model, there is no such thing as a model that can explain why it is that in South America, the days get to 17 plus hours long during their summer or winter. There's also no explanation, zero explanation as to why it is that a person in New York and another person in California at the same time on the same night see the same face of the moon. If the moon is only a couple hundred miles up, guess what? You'd see radically different faces on the moon, or at least different shapes of the moon if the moon wasn't a sphere. However, the fact that the moon always looks like a circle is because it's a sphere, not a flat disk.
I will super chat you $50 when I get it to change this fucking topic.
No, please.
Change the topic.
Please, dear God.
Does anybody remember we were watching Bird Build Bridges?
Okay, you can do that, but before Darren tells me who benefits from it.
It's the globe makers, don't you know?
It's the religion. Religion benefits off of it. I don't care anymore. It's the fucking magical boo-boo man benefits
like I said,
from
it's
it.
the Hershey Chocolate Factory.
No, religion wants it out that it's flat.
Right.
No, actually,
some of it does. Some of it does.
That's not true. Most Christians fully accept the global model. It's honestly, and even like, so Darren gave one Bible verse that suggests that the earth.
Well, that's because you asked for a Bible verse.
So give me another.
Why do I have to give you another one? Is it because you didn't like the one that I gave you?
No, it's because the one that you gave me isn't very convincing.
Okay, well, all right. I'm sorry, but that's all I'm prepared to give you guys tonight.
If you're trying to say that all these religions have this obvious cosmology of a flat Earth, and I know that you are a learned Christian, then you should be able to just rattle off, what it is that the Bible says that proves a flat Earth.
Well, okay.
And I asked you about I even gave you a couple of good examples off the top of my head that
it was referred to as a circle as opposed to a ball. You didn't like that one.
Which, if you're looking at a sphere from a distance,
didn't have a response to that one.
I did have a response. You're just not listening to it. I said if you look at a sphere from any direction, it looks like a circle. It's simply giving a description of what would be seen.
I totally shot that to pieces, and that's why you're asking for another example. I'm not going to give you another example tonight, but I will give you this. I'm going to go ahead and share something. If you'd be so kind, Bert.
There's a higher chance that we're all the same being than the Earth is flat. I mean, oh my God!
Okay.
But even
I would actually agree with you on that, LD.
Thank you.
This is the ancient Hebrew cosmology. All right.
Can you blow that up?
With the firmament and Sheol.
No, that's Ken Ham's cosmology.
Okay, well, this is based off of what they gave us.
No, it's based on what modern flat Earth proponents take various biblical passages out of context.
This was not created by a flat earther. This was not a flat earther's design. This came out by somebody else. Here.
Well, obviously that can't be trusted. That's your argument for everything. So obviously that can't be trusted. Prove
not my argument for everything. It's not my argument. It just comes with it just involves NASA. I don't trust NASA. Here, let me show you a better one here.
Why don't you trust NASA?
because NASA is part of the. By the way, the other thing about this is keep in mind that this would be a conspiracy that has lasted for at least 3,000 years and has been unbroken by every government in existence.
I know. Right. That's the big problem.
That's not even possible.
Okay, I keep going back.
All you have to do is fool one generation of people, and then it supports itself.
We keep going back to this that Greek guy once upon a time ago.
Okay, the screen sharing was canceled.
On a certain day of the year, you can see all the way down to the bottom of the whales in this town.
I mean, there's no historical record of a time where a government said, you know what, we've been lying to you guys.
Yeah.
That never in the history of the world is there any record of anything like that ever happening, which means that every government, even governments that are mortal enemies of each other, have been secretly working together to keep this conspiracy going when there's no real benefit to it.
The benefit is that they're trying to hide God and separate us.
And why would theocracies do
because this is people keep
the Muslim states should absolutely be all about busting the myth of the global earth, because they
don't believe in the globe there either. They don't believe in the globe there either, based on what they see.
But the Muslim governments there aren't saying, hey, here's the footage of the ice wall in Antarctica. They're not sitting there showing all the all the things that could be easily proven.
They're busy doing other things. I mean, obviously, they've got.
But if it's this grand conspiracy that's fooled everybody, and their whole goal is to convince everybody of the trueness of Islam, then they should immediately be. I mean, if I was in charge of one of these Muslim countries, immediately send everything you can to South America. Prove it, and then everybody starts converting to Islam, because I'm the one that proved that every other government was lying to you.
Well, they're doing a fine job of recruiting and converting people to Islam without having to do that. So there's no need for them to do that.
I find this fascinating, but I'm concerned that Darren, you feel like it's 50 people against one.
Oh, Darren,
are you okay with continuing?
Darren, you should ask Salty Trekker if he's okay.
He seems to be okay because he's still obviously on the offensive.
Well,
I'm asking you because I feel like you're the one who's in the disadvantaged position.
I've heard you give better arguments for your case than this. You can do better. Come on, Darren.
Darren, you're a submariner. How did y'all navigate?
With charts. And with fixes.
Flat Earth charts?
Well, yeah, by definition, all charts assume it's a flat plane.
Well, no, that's because they took the globe and spread it into a 2D.
Take a 3D object and spread it out onto a 2D surface.
We're talking about charts that have been around since before.
But they have GPS.
Yes, and before they knew the Earth was round for a very long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they knew the Earth was flat for a lot longer.
But who would care?
Hence the image that I'm showing you,
Darren. If everybody knew God existed, what would change? Nothing would change.
What it does? What the globe model and the idea of an ever expanding vacuumous universe does is it erodes the validity of Genesis, which is the foundation of two faiths in this world: Hebrew or the Jewish faith and the Christian faith.
Actually, three, because it's also the foundation of Islam.
You're right. Also Islam. So three.
How does it do that? That makes
sense. Because the Bible doesn't say that we live on a planet. It's described
because they didn't know about that back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. If there's not a word for it, you can't put it in the text.
They didn't have telescopes back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the idea. See.
I don't care.
Joe Biden donated $1.49 and says, "This Darren person has opened my eyes. I agree the earth is flat. Hail Caroga. Hail librarians." Number 20.
Librarians.
Yeah, there's a thing going out there about librarians being behind a conspiracy to rig Star Trek game shows.
So Noah Wiley's behind this now?
Here's the one thing they can't hide. You ever wondered why you have to go all the way up into the United States, to go from Australia to South America? Now, there is a fuel concern, but if you look at the flat Earth model, it's almost, it's a much straighter line.
There is a direct flight, yes.
Yeah.
There are no direct flights.
That is actually a myth there, Darren. There are flights that go directly from South America to Australia.
You will not get a direct flight. They will have to refuel somewhere because the distance is too great. No, there isn't.
The distance is shorter. If you're looking at this map, it looks shorter.
Yeah, you can't. The image on the left is what we've all. It's the Mercator projection, which is what we've all grown up with in every classroom ever since, everyone else was born and before then. But the Mercator projection is admitted to be incorrect because it's trying to do something that is impossible, and that is to put the supposed contents of a sphere or the surface of a sphere on a flat map to read. The distance between Australia and South America is much more accurately depicted in the one on the right.
Well, honestly, it is half true because it is picturing like a globe, half a globe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean,
there's stories all the time of a woman who leaves on a plane from Hawaii and her water breaks, and they have to detour to Alaska. Well, that doesn't make sense when you look at the Mercator projection, but it does make perfect sense if you look at so-called flat Earth model, because Alaska would be on the way.
Just so you know, Darren, you can go from Chile's capital to Sydney on Qantas Airlines as a direct flight. It's 7,060 miles. It's operated by some of the few Boeing 747s still in the Qantas fleet.
And you can go ahead and book yourself on that flight. And
I'm not interested in booking myself on that flight.
Let me finish what I was trying to say to you. Okay, if you can book yourself on that flight, and right before takeoff, they'll say that there's been an itinerary change, and there will be a connection. It happens like clockwork. There are no direct flights in the so-called Southern Hemisphere.
And you have proof of this.
You don't think anybody's ever completed that?
Nobody has proof of anything. All we use is evidence.
Okay, you have evidence of this. Other than just you saying that happens.
I've used testimony.
Do we have footage of flight after flight after flight attendants saying, "Oh, sorry, we're going to be diverting"? Because that might be something. If you could show, if there's only two flights a day, and you could show that every flight for 2 weeks straight got diverted, then you might have something.
Flights in the Southern Hemisphere aren't normally tracked. They become an estimation. And this is something you can observe on travel sites. They're not tracked by GPS at all in the Southern Hemisphere. It's all estimate. And the reason why they do this is because they have to hide it.
Hide what?
Hide what I've been telling you.
They're hiding the grand conspiracy.
No, okay, Darren, what you have there for your icon is a picture of us looking at the Earth from the North Pole straight down. Okay, that does not mean that the Earth is flat, circular. It means you are standing above the pole, looking straight down. That's what you're seeing. If you go 90 degrees one side or the next to that pole, what do you see?
All direction, eventually you will go south because north is the very center. Now,
but what do you see? You're in a spaceship directly above the North Pole. You're looking straight down. That picture you have there, that's what you're going to see. Now, I get in the cockpit and I go 90 degrees one way or another toward the equator. What do I see? The picture changes, right? Now, am I going to see a full-on view of North America and South American continents, or am I going, if I go one way, or Europe and not Asia, all that, if I go the other way, or am I going to see a disc, like I'm looking at a coin in the elevator? Am I going to see that? Am I going to see just the rim of a disc, or am I going to see those continents?
Well, no, on a globe model, you wouldn't see, if you were looking down from the North Pole, you wouldn't see what's being projected on the on my avatar, because
That's what
because South America and Australia are supposed to be in the southern hemisphere, which would be beyond the curve. You could only see on a globe model the very inner part of that, like the inner 50%. Because you would, if you believe in a curved world, those other continents and things would be on the other side of the curve. Next.
Well, I have a question for you, Darren. Since you, obviously, I know that you spent some time as a submariner and all that, and like you said, you use charts and stuff to get around. So. Did you guys ever go from Australia to Cape Horn?
We went from the tip of Africa, Cape Town, South Africa, to Australia.
I'm talking about Cape Horn. That's the southern tip of South America.
No, we didn't. We traveled from Connecticut down to Cape Town, South Africa. From there, we went through the Timor region to Perth, Australia, and then we ended up on the west coast at Bremerton, Washington.
So you did then go from Africa then to Australia. So was anybody on your ship confused as to why it was taking about 40% longer than it should have?
There are a lot of frustrations in navigating on the so-called southern hemisphere, and there are a lot of course corrections that have to take place because the lines of longitude radiate outward, and so operating in the so-called southern hemisphere is always frustrating for the quartermasters. The quartermasters are the ones that work with the charts on submarines, or they were back in the day.
Right. But a 40% difference is a little more than a few course corrections.
Mm-hmm. Well, right. I mean, we were always having to re-angle the ship in order to, and basically what we were doing was sort of hugging the continents. We weren't going too far.
But it still should have taken much, much longer than the maps would show, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a flank bell, which for my submarine was approximately 23 miles an hour, it did take us about 3 months to circumvent the map. And we were, but you got to remember, we were also, that was nonstop. I mean, the boat keeps moving day and night.
But now then, so if it takes 3 months at 23 miles an hour to circumnavigate the Earth based on your actual experience.
Yep.
Now, if you were to actually measure the distance based on your flat Earth model and then do the 23 mile per hour calculation, would it still take 3 months?
I haven't bothered to try that.
Well, that might be worth bothering to try.
Well, the thing is, though, you got to remember that we're not circumventing this whole map. We went from Connecticut down, around the coast of Africa, and then up the other side to Australia, and then from there we made a beeline for Hawaii, and then from there to the west coast. We were only really going around about a third, 2/3 of that entire projection, because as you'll notice, the Pacific Ocean, or what was represented by the Pacific Ocean on that model, is vast. It's much larger than the Atlantic is.
By the way, Bert, if you don't mind showing this is something Thomas just sent me. If you were interested in booking a flight directly from South America to Australia, there's the actual flight path.
Does that flight path make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So it's going to dip down into Antarctica.
It doesn't dip down. That's actually you're not taking into account the curvature of the Earth.
Well, no, but there's land there. The line that blue line, which I'm assuming is your flight path, does go over southern Antarctica land, according to that image.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so that's what you think happens.
Darren, you don't believe it crosses over Antarctica in any way whatsoever?
No, normally they all go up into the
Okay, so let me show you. Here's an image based on the globe of that same flight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not flying over Antarctica. Antarctica is a no-fly zone. You have to have.
I know you want to say this because it fits your conspiracy, but it's bullshit.
I don't believe it's bullshit at all. I don't believe it's bullshit.
I know. Well, of course you don't, because anytime something comes up that completely flies in the face of it, you either say that it's part of the conspiracy that they're always diverting the flights. Every flight is diverted. We just have no evidence of it.
You're not going to
I do have to say, don't get me wrong. I don't believe the Earth's flat, but that line does not.
That's not a perfect. That's not a perfect representation of it. If you look at the two side by side, you can see that it
barely crosses.
Well, let's look at it. So from South America, there's that tip spiral of Antarctica. There it is, right there. All right, and then it cuts into Antarctica. And that's this part of the line, and then out to Australia. Keep in mind that on this map, Antarctica is
granted, it's hugely
is distorted grossly because of the flight path. But Antarctica is actually just this portion here. The rest of it is just filler on the map.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that far off, but it's probably more like closer to here.
But
you're not going to get to Antarctica, or you're not going to be able to fly over Antarctica that way. There's no way.
I know you don't believe it, but that's just not true. There's no treaty that says you can't fly over Antarctica.
All you're showing is lines on a screen. Again,
yeah, and all you're saying is that lines on a screen aren't true.
Okay, book that flight and then tell me what happens.
I don't want to. You know what? Why would I book a flight
when
I have nothing to prove? Guess what?
Why do I have to
why
do I have to book a flight with Bezos and go into orbit in order to satisfy
because
you?
You're the one that is in the 1/100th of 1% of
you could use SpaceX if you wanted.
Yeah,
we won't say anything against it.
But you're the one that is claiming that everyone else is wrong about the shape of the Earth, even though there are ways to prove that you're right. If it's that important, and by the way,
threshold would I have to have in order to not be required to do that?
If this is genuinely, and I'm absolutely serious here, Darren. If this is genuinely, and you really believe that this is some kind of grand conspiracy to hide the existence of God, there should be nothing more important in your life than proving that you are correct.
That's not true at all.
That is absolutely true. If the idea is that if they are hiding God from people, if that's the purpose of it, then it should be the most important thing ever.
No, but how are they hiding God from people when there are people that believe in God?
Have you heard of the Great Deception?
And what? Say that again.
Have you heard of the Great Deception?
Yeah, people believing the Earth is flat.
Well, no. So you have heard of the Great Deception as it is discussed in the Bible, in the book.
Well, the term Great Deception is not in the Bible. So if you want to be clear, talk about what it says.
It is. You have to. It just depends on the translation that you use.
Well, I don't know what translation you're referring to. So
okay, all right, but you understand the concept, though.
I know what a deception is, and if you're talking about the fact that in in Revelation it talks about the beast and all that, and they're going to fool everybody, blah blah blah.
Saying a great deception that even the elect will be fooled by.
No, it doesn't. That's not how it says it. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, as I'm going off of memory, but anyway, there are some who believe that this is all part of that deception.
Right.
And so Revelation says that when that eventually the sky is going to roll open like a scroll.
Right. But that's all the more reason to prove it.
And that the people who see that still won't believe it.
Right. But that's still all the more reason to prove it. If you are right, Darren, then and others that agree with you that this is some kind of mass conspiracy that's lasted for thousands of years to hide the existence of God, and it can be demonstrably proven that the earth is flat, then why the heck aren't every single religious zealot that believes in the flat earth not banding together to prove that the earth is flat?
Because they're deceived. Because as you said, most
so you're deceived.
Globe. No. Most Christians, I believe, are deceived into believing that.
Right. And so you, in order to break the deception, you need to show them. And even if it won't convince everybody, I'll tell you what, if you could absolutely demonstrably prove the earth was flat, I'll convert right now. But the only thing I hear from you is that, well, those are just lines on a screen. Well, I have a verse that says that God was above the circle of the earth.
You'll convert to what?
Huh? I'll convert to believing you. I'll believe that the earth is flat. I'll be a flat earth evangelist for you.
You're still going to be in good company even if you believe the globe, according to Revelation. Again, even the elect will be.
So what you're saying is it's ultimately irrelevant.
Well, we've talked about this before privately. You know, obviously the conversion of people to Christianity, the good news is the most important thing. I've also maintained that it's not the only thing we're supposed to talk about, but there are certain conversations that I think are supposed to happen after the good news.
And I maintain that this kind of thinking is absolutely detrimental to Christianity because people believe, people that say, oh, yeah, the Bible says the earth is flat. And so they say, well, then I'm certainly not going to believe that bunk.
And
even though the Bible doesn't believe.
I totally disagree because I've met several Christians that have had their faith strengthened by these things.
I'm not talking about people having their faith strengthened. I'm talking about non-Christians becoming Christians.
And I've also met people who came to Christianity through this because they couldn't reconcile Genesis and various other parts of the Bible with modern science. And
but nowhere in Genesis is it dependent upon a flat earth. Nowhere. Whether you take a literal interpretation of Genesis or not, it doesn't require a flat earth for it to be true.
Oh, that is so correct. Because
again, I've met people who have come to who this was the last straw. That was the one thing holding them back, was that they believed in the scientific model of the earth. And when you start showing them this material, you start showing them the Bible verses and such, they get it. And that was the last thing that held them back, and they fully embraced Christianity.
Hey, Bird, check out this picture. It's a nice picture that Thomas sent. A view of Antarctica from Qantas flight QF-14. And that's from the official Qantas Twitter page.
Okay, I mean, if they say so.
Right. But that's the thing. You'll just say, okay, it's all
no, nobody here can verify the authenticity of that image.
Right, but the problem is
nobody here is qualified to do that. That's a fact.
But you also have no demonstrative evidence, no proof, no significant evidence at all that the earth is flat, other than saying that your stuff is made up.
And also, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the #1 spokesman for the globe model, says that you can't get high enough to take a picture of and show curvature.
So what?
Well, see, he's the one given authority to say those things by the scientific community.
I don't know. I don't know if and when he said that, but regardless of whether he said you can see it from an airplane or not, is irrelevant to what the actual shape of the earth is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It just shows that they don't have a consistent model themselves, the globe.
No, it shows that you're looking for ways to try and suggest something that is consistent isn't.
Well, it isn't consistent.
You know what? It's way more consistent than the fact that, first of all, the flat Earth model, every flat Earth model is impossible. Every flat Earth model is self-contradictory, and there is no consensus as to anything about the flat Earth model.
Well, I think that the same thing can be said about the globe model. I mean, how do you have
that's where you're full of crap because there's very little.
How do you have an atmosphere right next to a vacuum that's so much larger than the atmosphere?
You understand how pressure works, and you refuse to accept that.
No, I do. You're absolutely right. I do know how pressure works.
How can you have liquid right next to an atmosphere?
Exactly.
Right. You can't. It's impossible. You have to have a barrier, right?
No, there's liquid in our atmosphere. I mean, when you know.
Right, but how can you have? Well, you know what? There's also atmospheric particles in space. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You just proved my point.
No, you didn't. No, I didn't, because the firmament is a barrier, a physical barrier, rakia, as it's called in the Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
That separates the waters above from the air we're breathing.
Even if you want to take a literal interpretation of Genesis, then what most people suggest is that firmament was destroyed when the flood happened.
Yeah.
And so that's assuming you take a literal interpretation. And
it doesn't say it was destroyed. He opened the floodgates, is what he said.
Right. Well, and now they're not there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it doesn't say it's not there.
Well, it doesn't say that he reinstalled them.
Once again, do I have to show the image that I showed you from of our cosmology that you're denying?
On a screen. That image doesn't prove anything.
Right, I don't understand. But again,
God damn, you guys are still talking about this shit. I freaking left for like 20 minutes. I come back, you're still on this crap.
Oh, yeah, it's a fun topic.
Can we play? What's fun about this? Really? Why don't you have a flat Earth Sunday then, Anti-Truck Salty?
That's
fucking shit.
Salty. I like that.
Why? Because I've said this before, and Darren knows, I believe this, is that the idea of giving this credence within Christianity is dangerous to Christianity, and I think that it needs to be stamped out. That's
why he created a whole other channel and did a video about it without telling me.
Right.
This is why I wish we stopped sending up celebrities up into space, and let's send a bunch of flat earthers up there.
They wouldn't go.
LDG already debunked that. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Why not? No. We make them sign a document. We make them sign a document that says you are. No. Because we give them a.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
You can't make anybody sign a document they don't want.
I can make people do whatever the hell I want. Listen, you make them sign a document that says, "Listen, no, I'm serious. Let me say this. Let me say this. You make them sign a document that says, "Are you okay with everything? We have a flat dome. We have a flat, squared glass bottom, right? Squared, black, no fisheye. We prove to you there's no fisheye glass or anything like that. That you are okay with the fact that what you're looking out of isn't changing the shape of what you're looking at whatsoever," and we send them up there and see what happens. Even if it was
LD, the problem is, even if you did it, here's what would happen. They would argue that they got into this little room, and outside of the windows of this room were a bunch of very high definition monitors.
No. We already fixed this. We fixed this already. We talked about this. We send them in a suit. Yeah, we send them in a suit.
Because they don't.
We put. Yeah, we put them in a suit because
in the suit, and it's
you put the pilot in the suit, and you let them be in regular clothes.
No. Listen, stop, dear God, just stop for a second, please, dear God, stop.
There's no.
We let them do it. We put them outside. We let them do a spacewalk. We push them towards the Earth, and when the re-entry flames start showing on their fucking monitor, on their screen, on their face, we pull them back. Okay, we pull them back after they start seeing the flames coming off their face.
That's first of all, that's physically impossible.
I know.
And second of all, even if you could do something like that, you can still come up with a million excuses of how it was faked. You say it was done. How can you come up with an simple. It was done on a huge studio on board the Vomit Comet.
But you have to walk up to the rocket. Like, how did they get you from the rocket to the studio? Like, they would have to say that you.
They've been working with psychedelics for 30, 40 years now.
Yeah.
God knows what advances they've made.
The stream has degenerated.
Yeah, I think there might be a few. Right, we have the technology to tell.
LD, there's been a million tests that have proved the shape of the Earth. The problem is that people who are ardent flat earthers will simply say that it's all faked.
Okay, so then if it's a no-win argument, why are we talking about it now?
Because it's my stream,
I'd rather
I wanted to hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? I thought Bert was on my side. I'd rather talk about She-Hulk.
No, God, hell no, I want to talk about She-Hulk.
Not She-Hulk.
I'm missing the bridge building here. I came here to watch Bird like show us his engineering skills, and now we're talking about
that's the problem because Bird's making the bridges round. He needs to make them flat. Okay, then it'll work. Okay.
He's like, I just man. Since my avatar bothered you so much, I switched it to my mom's old car. So.
Nice pimp mobile, by the way.
Yeah, that was my mom's car back in the day. In chamois, light chamois. It's a 1979 Ford Thunderbird. That was our family car for a while.
Which that car should convince you on its own, Baron, since it has its own gravitational field.
Yeah, I swear, guys, Darren knows the Earth is freaking a sphere. Okay, he is just bullshitting us this entire time.
You know, LD, it's funny you said that. I kind of, because Darren, and this is going to be a backhanded compliment at you, Darren, but Darren is probably the single most intelligent person I've ever had the pleasure of arguing with. That being said, he's holding one of the most indefensible positions there is. And sometimes I think that the reason that he's holding that position is simply to test his ability at arguing.
The bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, Darren, you are too damn smart for this.
I totally agree with you.
Flat Earth community.
Because he's probably the most logically minded person in this panel right now. And to hold it. And to say something illogical as the Earth is flat.
The only conversation that would degenerate this stream even more would be a conversation about omelets.
Oh, that made me leave the community for a couple of days. I actually blew my stack over eggs. I couldn't believe that.
I know.
You're welcome.
I went to work and I told my manager Liz about it. And I was like, we had an argument about eggs.
Oh,
fucking eggs!
It was a simple comment I made. It was a simple comment I made in the underground that migrated from the underground to Birdstream.
It wasn't a simple comment. It was a mistake you made.
No, it was a mistake.
What did he say that got this whole thing going? I gotta know.
Can an omelet be scrambled? That was the question.
That wasn't it. He said scrambled eggs and an omelet are the same thing.
No, I didn't. I said Bird. You need to back me on this. The original comment.
The problem.
The first thing I said, the original comment that I said, I opened up the conversation with because I was like, "Can you have a scrambled omelet, or can an omelet be scrambled?"
Yeah,
that was the original comment.
I don't think it was. I think it became a separate question.
I started the flat Earth.
That's the question he asked me when I came from your stream. That was the question.
Why were you omelet with the asking
that? I don't know.
Well,
they didn't
originally
have
I thought
to do that day, evidently.
Well, a lot of y'all check it out right now. Just watch this shit.
No. Originally, I thought an omelet was not the fact that if it was scrambled during cooking or not. I thought an omelet meant that it was just eggs that you put something in, like onions and beef, and if you put something in eggs, does that make it an omelet?
Basically, degeneracy starts from eggs. Okay, the reason this went so south is because of the misconception of what scrambled means.
Yes, pre-scrambled or post-scrambled.
The finished product of the egg. Okay.
Yes.
Not the whipping and beating of the egg, and that's where I was getting triggered by, because an omelet and a scrambled eggs both require the whipping and beating of the egg, and that's the point I was trying to make. Because
Salty, do you remember when I went totally ape crackers on your stream that one time?
All right, guys, I gotta get out of here.
Which time? Which time?
The time you
goddamn phone book of that.
The time you actually had to kick me off.
Oh yeah. When you came on,
I was like that over this egg discussion.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah, me and Darren were swearing at each other.
Oh gosh, everybody was in a bad mood that night.
Then we had. I was still recovering from being sick, and Darren.
Well, if you hang out underground once or twice, you'd be there.
It was. I look at it now. It was funny. It was funny, but it was.
We actually do have some very interesting conversations underground. You know.
We had to hug and
you don't
apologize later. You know, just
Well, I exiled myself from the underground for a while just as penance because I felt really bad about that.
I figured my attendance hanging around LDG was suffrage enough.
Well, I did. We did come to the conclusion that you can have a scrambled egg omelet, and
Yes,
everybody
you can.
agreed.
You can
okay,
put
so
scrambled
it's
eggs in the omelet.
Scrambled eggs in an omelet.
Yes. Thank you. So, which is an eye opener because you wouldn't think that you'd put eggs inside of eggs, but it happens all the time. You go to Taco Bell, you literally can get a taco in a taco. So you know it works.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they tried to make a shellless egg taco once too. I don't know. I don't. The latest
A shellless taco.
They did make
How
one
the fuck
taco
do you have a
salad.
shellless taco?
They did it with chicken. I know that. But no, I keep hearing an ad, where they're apologizing for trying to make their breakfast menu too complicated. So now they're going back to just egg tacos or whatever the frick it is.
Yeah, because the one thing I think of with Taco Bell is how complicated their breakfast menu is.
Yeah, right. I don't think I've ever
I want an Incarita Lupa. Just like,
what makes a taco? The shell or what you put inside of it?
I don't know. I just they call things that aren't tacos now, and vice versa. And it's all about marketing. It's kind of like that Polaroid's what was it that slide projector? They called it the carousel. Well, it's not a friggin' carousel. You're not riding it, but that's what they called it. And then that name stuck.
I had some excellent shrimp tacos a couple weeks ago from a little restaurant up here.
That is a contradiction in its terms, my friend. Excellent fish taco. There is no such thing.
Shrimp.
Or I'm sorry, excellent shrimp taco. There is no such thing.
Taco.
Yeah. Anytime you start mixing seafood and tacos,
seafood's got to be by itself for me. I can't. I don't like it on a pizza. I don't like it. In a burger.
What makes seafood? Does it have to come from the sea, or do you just have to have your eyes open?
I tend to call seafood things that come from the sea, but meaning that fish that live in brine water. Like for example, if I go down to the Mississippi River.
Okay, that was rhetorical. I didn't mean this to get into an actual conversation. Obviously, it's not food that you can
hear
see.
The joke in there? God, I actually heard.
Yeah,
it.
I exactly. I had a joke in there. Oh my God!
For once, it was actually pretty
right.
surface level humor there. Low hanging fruit.
I don't want to cause another. I don't want to cause another ripple, man. Okay, it was just a rhetorical joke.
All right. The man destroyed his community with the eggs.
I mean, remember, canon is what you make it, so make it a good one.
Oh.
No,
is what you
big grassy thing.
and hashtag renew the Orville with better writers.
Oh dang!
You're just trying to get me to leave, aren't you?
What?
I
no.
Why would
I like Orville, but
I liked Orville for 2 seasons.
Yeah. Thank you. So you agree?
Yeah, third season sucked.
The third season writing was horrible.
Everything about the third season was horrible, except for some of the visual effects.
I appreciate what they tried to do, but I don't think it worked. Yeah, that's basically my stance on it.
I don't appreciate
my biggest disappointment, though. My biggest disappointment with season 3 is that we didn't get enough of Yaphet, and we literally got shit from Yaphet on season 3. And I know there's people that can say, well, he's not a main character or anything, but it just sucks because we know the character, we know the actor passed away because Joe Biden couldn't cure cancer quick enough. I just wish we got more Yaphet.
You think they should have just revolved the whole series around Yaphet because the guy that
would have been awesome, but I didn't expect him to do that. But I wish we would have gotten more than just very funny. Like that's basically the only line he said in the entire season was hey, thanks, very good one.
It's not writing scripts for Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, oh God. Whatever, dude.
I didn't like the Charlie character. Even though I wasn't supposed to like her, but I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, Charlie was an ass. She was.
Charlie was. There's, like I said, there was, aside from the visuals, I found nothing to really like about the third season. And as far as renew the Orville, screw that. Let that show die.
I think 3 is fine.
Oh yeah.
I think Seth pretty well pulled the trigger on it with that.
But Brigger, give us more Mikey Spock though.
It had 3 seasons, which is the same as the original Star Trek show, so that's fine.
Yeah. So now in 10 years, maybe they'll come up with something, Orville the Next Generation or something.
I didn't like, I mean, as much as I like these special effects, I didn't care for, at the end of the day, that ship design, especially the aft part, the propulsion system. I would have gone with something else
Quantum Drive.
Well, I don't care about what they call it. It's just
right, but I bet at the design of the Quantum Drive, I get it.
When I saw it, I thought, what is this, the labia drive? Because that's what it kind of reminded me of, very feminine looking, But I would have gone with a paddle wheel or something like that,
a paddle wheel in space.
No, like in the nacelles, the ram scoops of the original Enterprise, there are these like spinning propeller-y like things, something like that, only in a different direction, like a Mississippi River paddle wheeler, but high tech and everything. Just a different moving part. It needed a moving part to me, and that's
no.
And
there
something
are no
that doesn't.
moving parts in space. What do you think?
Well, I mean, and also, I mean, I thought that aft section was problematic for shuttle deployment. It's like.
No, I agree with that. We've discussed this. I didn't like the aft design either.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have just went, straight and had a bank of engines back there, like on the old Galactica.
Yeah,
something like
that. Or the front of the ship was fine, but the back of the ship.
I agree. Yeah, because the front of it had this shark-like quality that I kind of thought was neat, but then the rest of it just kind of yuck. But there's back to the drawing board as far as that.
Hey, Richie Poole, if you want to see Bridges, rewind to the very beginning of the stream. And Qapla, executive producer, Solly Bones.
I still think if they bring in an Orville season 4, I'm only okay with it if they cast Darren to be on the show and he plays a flat earther who is a crew member on the Orville.
Well, I don't think there would be any flat earthers in that.
Dear God.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Every single
time he's on screen, he'd be like, that's all fake.
Well, there wasn't there an episode of Orville where they went to a 2-dimensional universe?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, maybe he's from there.
That was in season 1.
Okay, season 1. All right. That's a neat concept.
But so flat earthers in space as a crew member, I think that's
flat earthers in space.
Yes. Have you seen?
You have to expand that to flat universe.
Have you seen the Cocaine Bear?
Oh God.
Trailer?
No, I haven't watched that yet. I know you were talking about it before, but
Ray he's been off his high horse about this Cocaine Bear for some reason.
Oh, that looks like a really good bad movie. It's got Ray Liotta in it. It was his last movie. It has Alden Ehrenreich in it, from Hail Caesar. I don't say Solo because I never saw Solo, but and it's got a number of other people in it. But it's inspired by a true story where some cocaine fell from a plane and some bear ingested it, and for about 45 minutes it turned into the biggest alpha predator in the area before it died of a heart attack. But this is a comedy, so it's
okay.
Oh God.
Oh, is Londell looking it up now?
I have no clue, but
speaking of giant killer bears, Londell, have you heard of a movie for your channel called Prophecy from 1979? It was James.
Yeah. That was one.
Is it on there?
No, I don't. That was like one of the first. Nature goes insane and starts killing people.
That would be a good one for Salty and Matthew if that's still a thing, or Salty and Dorkly Knight, because
Matthew's still around.
Matthew's a traitor.
Oh, okay. I haven't been.
No, Matthew. Actually, the honest truth is, I have nothing but respect for him. But Matthew took a full-time youth ministry position in addition to his full-time job, and that's why we don't do movie night anymore.
Well,
nice.
Good on him then.
So he's a minister now.
Good for him.
Well, I don't know if he's considered a minister, a pastor, or just a worker at the youth ministries. I don't know. But you'd have to ask him. You can catch him on his Discord every now and then. So,
okay,
let's go.
Okay,
Prophecy
in the chat for Cocaine Bear.
But Prophecy is a hoot because it's got Robert Foxworth. He was the guy who played Admiral Layton on Deep Space Nine, and he's been in other Star Trek productions. And then Talia Shire, and the monster was supposed to be this mutant of a combination of several animals combined, but then the director said, "You know what? Let's just make it a bear with mange." And it's a guy in a bear suit. It's actually Kevin Peter Hall from Predator, and the suit is terrible.
Yeah.
And the first half of the movie, until they actually show the monster, is really good. You're like, they're building up to something really awesome here, and all of a sudden, what? Okay, so you're watching Cocaine Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to the theater to see Cocaine Bear.
Nah, somebody's gonna stream it before too long. Probably.
I'm just saying, if it was down the street at the theater, I'd go, especially if they were serving, beer, serving cocaine.
Okay, this is kind of an homage to the B movie, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it's also one of the only trailers that was released this week that isn't a sequel. So yay for it. I mean, if this turn.
Sorry, we got a donation from Heaven's Gate. Matthew is one of our best recruiters. We love him.
Oh, Matthew got his dick cut off. Oh no! That's what they did to each other at Heaven's Gate. By the way, I saw.
I was not aware.
Well, on that lovely note, I'm going to get going. So you guys have a good one. I need to, take my medication and try to rest.
To get your wiener
to perform those husbandry duties.
Yes, indeed. So you guys take care, and talk to you hopefully.
Later, Salty. Come under the ground sometime.
I will.
Yeah, it's reassuring.
That's cocaine. Okay.
Watch out behind you.
He is the cocaine of the earth.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cocaine Bear comedy.
Ray Liotta's last film too. I mean, come on. The guy did Goodfellas, and he goes out on Cocaine Bear.
He's looking like a 1975 pimp.
Yeah. I will be upset though if they kill the bear. I mean, it's a CG bear. I mean, the bears are going to be harmed during the making of this movie, but still, it's a lot. I thought the bear looked okay. I mean, it's not. You can tell it's a CG bear because you couldn't get a real bear to do all those things. But the bear to me looked most realistic when they showed it doing bear things. Like climbing the tree and rubbing its back on a tree and things like that. But when it just the super close up of it. Smelling cocaine on the other guy and wanting to kill the other guy for the cocaine.
Boy.
I don't think I've ever said the word cocaine as many times in my life as I said it today.
Here's the question, though. The dilemma. Dare I look at the Indiana Jones trailer?
Ooh. Put your armor on, Lundell. Put the the chin strap is on tight.
Personal force field, the whole 9 yards, man. Just get your
containment field, yes.
Yeah. Starts the pulse phasers, arm the quantum torpedoes. Watch Lundell shriek.
Oh, Lord. Hey, Bert, how long were you going to keep this open, bud?
Well, until people stop talking, pretty much. No, not much longer.
Hey, we destroyed your bridge stream.
No, it's fine. It's like the olden days. It's a good, nice open panel stream. I enjoyed it. I ate dinner. I ate dinner through it, so I thought I wasn't talking.
Oh, great! How was what was for dinner?
Taco, not from Taco Bell, from a local Mexican Tex-Mex.
Does Mama Prey cook at all?
Not really.
Okay. I just wondered. I mean, I've been watching so many mafia. Sorry, I've been watching so many mafia shows like Sopranos and stuff. I'm wondering, I wonder if
no, not so much.
Not so much. Okay, because they're always eating on those shows, and it's like, oh, that food looks pretty good.
It does. It does look good.
And that's half the reason why Gandolfini gained so much weight during the making of that show. You look at the first episode, and then the last season, it's like, dang, it's because a lot of their scenes were filmed around a dinner table and just ate all friggin' day while they were acting, doing different takes.
They probably had pretty good catered food too.
Oh yeah, probably.
No, it's surprising how much the Italian culture evolves around food. But I guess.
Well, it's one of the. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I guess.
Well, it's not the Italians. I mean, you got like pretty much every freaking nationality has a relation to food. I mean, Spanish love their food, and Italians love their food, and even the fucking Syrians love their food. You get
Syrians
get this pride built in.
Amount of the food.
I mean, I'm of course of German ancestry.
I mean,
there's only so much Italian food I can eat without paying for it later, but I do like Italian food. And
it's not just food. I mean, Italians like their mafias just as well. I mean,
you know what? I find the mafia so fascinating. I think this is the allure, especially for people who aren't Italian, is this idea that it's crime, but it's obviously it's organized. They have rules. Sometimes they don't always follow them, but they do have rules. Simple fact,
like thieves,
make them interesting. The idea that you cannot get to the upper echelon of that organization without having roots in Sicily and things. Obviously, I could never be a quote made man. I'd have to be at most an associate, a mob associate. So if I walked into a party, this is a friend of mine, not a friend of ours, right? But I find that all very interesting. This secret society within our own society that operates. That's the allure for me.
The ones that keep the secrets. They know the world's flat, but they don't tell anybody.
You gonna bring that up again?
Oh Christ!
I'm not gonna take the bait this time. See, I'm gonna keep
that
this.
Was bad.
Nice.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out.
All right, he's got a food coma coming on. Thanks for having me, George. I will see you.
No problem. I'm glad you didn't feel like you were, under attack and left.
It's like a check.
You sticking it out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody have anything they want to say before we go?
Yeah, sure. Why not? If you want to enjoy more of this conversation, join us underground, freethenet.org/underground. Come join us.
The indie trailer is terrible.
Yeah, I noticed. that one shot of the de-aged, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones is like,
oh yeah, when they pull the mask off and he's in the German suit uniform. Yeah. That was bad.
So far, granted, Doomcock hasn't been right very much, but his quote source says that the original version of this movie had Phoebe Waller-Bridge replacing Indy retroactively through time travel. So it wasn't him in any of those movies anymore. It was her. So we'll see what happens. But all right, Bird, I'll see you later.
No problem. Kronos, I am looking at the chat. I when at Birdo45 is used, I read it at least to myself, even if I couldn't read it out loud. He says, you aren't playing the game and you aren't looking at the chat. I am looking at the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye, Birdie, says Kronos. Qapla all, Bird, and panel out.
The Earth is a sphere.